This pot has about a 3-quart or 3-liter capacity, so I'm using about 1.5 to 2 quarts or liters of water. I'm starting with an initial water level of about 1.75 inches below the rim, or 45 millimeters, to allow for the displacement of the vegetables. I'm adding to the water about 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of sea salt as the first ingredient, and then start the water boiling. You want to use enough garlic, at least 1 clove for each person, for each serving. Crushing the clove releases the good natural chemicals in the garlic and makes the peeling go easier as well. Garlic is reputed to do wonderful things for your health, so I put it in just about everything I make, except pancakes. I'm not a chef, not a professional cook, so I chop and slice slowly to avoid adding hemoglobin to my recipes. It's thought that onions contain some very good protective nutrients. A friend of mine died this year from stomach cancer. He hated onions, never ate them. Not saying there's a connection, just an observation. I try to use the sweet onions because there's a chance they'll make the soup taste better. Onions are good for the flavor as well. I was a meat lover the first half of my life. When I got more educated about nutrition and decided to cut down on my meat intake, I started thinking about this kind of a meal. Now, it's easy to make a meal taste good by putting meat in it, but it's much more challenging, healthy, and rewarding if you can do it with just vegetables. Onion. About 5 good-sized carrots, organic preferably. Now this stuff turns out to be really more of a vegetable stew than a soup. I put a lot of stuff in there, but I like it to be a good, hearty, healthy meal all by itself. I think most nutritionists would consider carrots to be as good a food as you can find. Not just for rabbits. Organic zucchini. I've always wondered if the adhesive they put on this sticker is also organic. And edible. Sometimes some of it stays on the food. I've read that zucchini is a very healthy food. I use it in most of my recipes, including flapjacks. I put the zucchini in last because it cooks faster than the other types of plant matter. Here's a sweet potato. This is a very healthy food. It takes about an hour to bake the sweet potatoes, so you can do it ahead of time, or you can do it the day before, keep it in the refrigerator. Here all we have to do is extract the meat of the potato or yam from the skin. I usually use 1 large or 2 medium jewel or garnet yams. Adding mashed sweet potato as a thickener was a genius idea from my mom, Hazel Violet Udison Heine, who was a magician in the kitchen. I learned much about making inexpensive meals from her. She could make gourmet meals out of the cheapest comestibles. And next, the spices. Three tablespoons of curry powder. About 1½ tablespoons of dried basil leaves. Teaspoon of oregano. ½ teaspoon of sage. Black pepper to your preference. I use very little. About a half teaspoon of turmeric, maybe a little more. Lentils. Rinse first. Maybe ½ cup or so of lentils. Stirred, not shaken. And that's about it. Simmer on low heat for about 30 minutes.